Good afternoon and welcome along
Daryl for the
to
ball.
Players Championship 24, brought to you live on PDC TV. The last of our triple header of Players Championship tournaments live here from Barnsley.
25.
We saw a win for Nathan Aspinall here on Wednesday. The Asp reached a final again last night, but
25.
was beaten by Keegan Brown, who won out of a clear blue sky, seemingly. A big win for
Gary's
Keegan Brown. Secures his future as a professional player for the time being. Will we see Nathan Aspinall going far again in the tournament? Will we see another
95.
first time winner this year? But it's not the first time this pair have met this year. In fact, Daryl Gurney and Gary Anderson are meeting in the first
41.
round of a PDC tournament for the third time in 4 events, having done it at the World Match Play when Gurney beat the Scotsman in Blackpool. Then they met here on Wednesday when Anderson got the better of the Northern Irishman. And they're locking horns again. Anderson, the unseeded player, but he did produce a stunning performance in his first round yesterday, averaging more than 111 to beat Stephen Bunting. And that's kind of been the case for Gary this year. Big averages, big performances on the floor, but not really getting results because he fell in the second round with another ton plus average to Luke Peters. Mark Webster is alongside me, Chris Murphy, to talk you through this Friday of darting delights. What are you expecting from today, Mark?
Well, I'm expecting a better performance from Daryl Gurney. The Gibraltar qualification aside on Tuesday, been a pretty poor couple of days for Daryl Gurney. Back-to-back first round defeats, the one against Gary Anderson, as you mentioned, and he was well beaten by Steve Lennon in the opening round yesterday. So Daryl Gurney eager to
59,
leaving Barnsley without any prize money, but this is a tough task for him, and it's a bright start again from Gary Anderson, 13 dart holder throw. So looking for back-to-back wins over the Northern Irishman.
Yeah, flying start for the Flying Scotsman. We do have the full quota of players, 128. The number 1 seed, Luke Humphries, is drawn against Danny Baggish on board 1. This is board 2. The first round being played on the streaming board 41. For your viewing pleasure. The winner of this will take on the winner of our next match in the second round, Scott Marsh against Florian Hempel. Then it's Stephen Bunting against Mike De Decker and Max Hopp against Matt Campbell. Of course, as always,
60. On
these Players Championship days, we have 2 streaming boards to choose from.
Yeah, and a pivotal day as well. It might be the last day of action for a lot of these players until after the Grand Prix in October. A lot of these players failing to qualify for the European tours, which pretty much dominates September. There's 3 in the 4 weekends sandwiched in there. It's the World Series of Darts finals. There's a playoff for that tomorrow to complete the lineup. But yeah, it's a lot of pressure on some players today. Really want to go off to their sort of
140
late summer, early autumn break with something to clutch to.
You speak of the Grand Prix, this pair met there in 2018. There was a little bit of afters, weren't they, on the stage after Gurney beat Anderson 3-0 on that occasion. One of 21 meetings between the pair, and Anderson just edges that head-to-head record by virtue of Wednesday's win.
99.
I've had some real battles. I've had a ding-dong affairs at the World Match Play. The one this year, though, was nervy. Daryl got there in the end. Gurney
41.
Pressure here already. It's just not happening for Daryl. He hasn't managed to average over 90 in his opening 2 matches on Wednesday and Thursday.
101.
Oh, it's a big 3-figure finish in front of him. 1 treble required, but not that one. And that means it can't go all over the place at the moment. And Gary Anderson 29. Will be smelling blood.
Yeah, this for 2-0. And more misery for Daryl Gurney incoming.
Game shot.
That's a comfortable break of throw. 17 darts for Gary Anderson. And this is concerning for Daryl Gurney. Just not clicking at the minute. And it could be more. First round
100.
Heartache for Super Chin.
Yeah, as for Gary Anderson, he did have a run to a final earlier this year when he lost out to Damon Heta here in Barnsley at Players Championship 5. But if you look at the stats, he's actually in terms of the averages over all of his matches, the third best player. You can be forgiven for thinking that Anderson, because he's not winning all the time, is nowhere near as good as he was, but he's running at an average of more than 98 for all the games he's played on the Pro Tour. Only Damon Heta and Michael van Gerwen have managed to do that
60.
as well.
Yeah, and he's only unseeded, Gary Anderson, because he just doesn't entertain the European Tour, does he? You know, it's 13 events that he decides not to enter, and there's a lot of prize money there, and if Gary Anderson
26.
played him, you'd like to think Anderson's going to pick up a fair few quid, but due to that, he's unseeded, and some of the seeds will wish he'd play so he could be a seed, because he's a dangerous first round.
100.
Yeah, however, he will need to have a good run. He so often does, doesn't he, at the big major tournaments, but he's due to drop out of the top 16 at the end of the year without a big run at maybe the Grand Prix or the World Championship, where he seems to produce his best stuff.
Then he becomes reliant on the Pro Tour Order of Merit, isn't it? So he might have to commit himself more to the Pro Tour, but you wouldn't be surprised if Gary Anderson found the run, would you?
You wouldn't, but also
40.
You wouldn't be surprised if he found himself out of the major tournaments, if he just drifted away. Player that talks about retirement probably more than anybody else.
105.
Gurney may get a chance at the 76 here. Treble 20 for the ball for Anderson. There it is, bullseye. This'll hurt.
105.
Just margin, he misses out. So Daryl Gurney to break straight back. He needs this, Daryl.
Staying up at 20. Turned himself a dart at double 18. Needed
40.
it, didn't get it, and Gary Anderson looking to clean up the remainder. He's gobbled up this combination once on double 8. This time he needs to bail himself out on double 4,
17.
and he can't manage it. Gurney off the hook.
Yeah, sloppy leg, this one. There's a leg that Daryl Gurney, I feel, needs to win. Missed one already, not on this occasion. Breaks straight back. Still not convincing from Daryl Gurney, but has a foothold in the tie. 2-1 now the deficit, and we're back on throw.
Luke Humphries lost in the first round here yesterday against Karol Sedlacek. Sedlacek is taking on Rob Cross over on the other streaming board. Jim McEwen, Mark, 3-0 up on Peter Wright.
I did call that, to be
41.
fair.
Did you?
No, actually, it was you. I'll give you that credit. That was the upset you fancied, and he's halfway. Jim McEwen, very capable.
The player of the week, of course, has been Nathan Aspinall. He's already 5-0 up on Devon Peterson.
Yeah, averaging 101, so that injury, he's dealing with it, because he felt the amount of games he's played. He's in his 15th match in just over 2 days, Nathan Aspinall, but not affecting him. It looks like he's going to be our first man through to the second round.
Luke Humphries involved in a battle. 3-2 behind against Danny Baggish as the #1 seed. He's hoping to avoid being knocked out in the first round on successive days.
60.
A couple of our late call-ups. Matthew Edgar, Graham Escher. Edgar 3-0 down to Dimitri Vandenberg. Escher 3-1 down to De Souza. So great draws, have they?
60.
Yeah, thanks for coming, lads. Another to leave a finish.
100.
Couldn't force it in.
It's not happening for Daryl Gurney, is it? And it's still in a good position in terms of the season. He's going to be in the majors, but this is a former 2-time major winner. He wants to be challenging for titles, not just being there.
He hasn't been past the second round
85.
since Players' Championship 18. So could be the 5th tournament that he hasn't made it past that stage on the floor.
29.
And we mentioned the win he had against Anderson in Blackpool, a scrappy affair as you mentioned, Matt, but he was battered by Danny Noppert in the next round.
Yeah, Noppert was brilliant, and
Game shot.
maybe that'll kick him into gear. 2 legs won, both on double 18. It's a good finish from Daryl Gurney, but it just needs a spark, you feel. The aggression isn't there from Daryl, and when he plays, he's angry, isn't he, when he's on form? He's got a bit of aggression, and I think he just has that missing from his game at the minute. And
well, you've been involved in a famous bad-tempered affair with Daryl yourself. You know all about that.
Yeah, large.
140.
Come on, Daryl, behave.
This is right. It's his right to do so.
Yeah, but just,
What do you want him to do? Apologise?
No, just
180.
say, sorry, Mark, but it's one set all. Let's crack. No, it was over the top, wasn't it? He knows it. He's apologised. He's grovelled to me. Let's forget about it, Daryl.
He's going to get over the top of that. He can perfectly into the red bit, and maybe the game is swinging in his favour.
That was when that, for me, Daryl sort of sparked into action. He went to the quarterfinals of the Worlds, and then he started challenging. He got to a Euro Tour final. He just felt
137.
the major title wasn't far, and when he gets to the back end, he rarely gets it wrong. But he's done well here, because he's not playing well, but he's finding a way. When you're not playing well, you've got to dig in, and Daryl Gurney will do
100.
that. But Anderson looking to restore the lead here.
Not going to do that in this visit, but he will expect to be back. 1-6-1 is a finish that isn't taken out regularly. But only back for 88. Could only be a dart at the bullseye for Anderson.
49.
It's the right shot at 25. You've just seen a bit of shoulder in that last start, but well capable of 112 if Anderson doesn't mop this 88 up. One dart miss. He doesn't. A chance for Gurney here. Average is very modest.
Getting a dart. The double 18. Well, there you see 76. How modest. And maybe Daryl Gurney will be getting a little bit moody.
I think he needs to get moody.
Game shot.
3-2, Anderson. Gurney had a chance for 3-2 himself, but it's Anderson who hits the front again.
First man through to the second round is the man who's made the final on both days so far. Nathan Aspinall has hammered Devon Peterson.
57.
6-1. Actually the number 2 seed today, Aspinall. And an average of 102.74 to boot for the brilliant few days work for him.
136.
Yeah. Regardless of what happens, he's earned that break. He spoke about he needs the time off. He's rest that arm, but he's still got to tick over it. Obviously the practice is very
85.
minimal for Nathan Aspinall, but he's off and running. First competitor, like you said, into round 2, and there'll be a few more joining soon.
100.
Anderson has pulled away already on the Daryl Gurney throw here.
99.
Not enough. Still favour Anderson from here. Particularly after that first dart, he'll fancy filling up. No, he's got to find another treble now. And lucky deflection,
82.
That helps Daryl Gurney.
You know, I get the sense that Anderson revels in this unseeded role, going under the radar at these Players' Championship events. He likes annoying the other
100.
big boys. There aren't many bigger than him, but he plays it down, doesn't he, Gary Anderson? And he loved the prospect of beating some big names in the early rounds in these tournaments.
Yeah.
40.
Towards the end of my career, and I drew a seed. I think it was Ricky Evans, and on the rare occasion I beat him. You're thinking, right, I've got rid of the seed. He was the unseed I played next. You don't need that, do you? But Gary Anderson has been.
60. He's
familiar with this role, and I'm with you. I think he sort of relishes having a crack at these players, and he's been successful against Daryl Gurney already this week, and he's looking to repeat the success here.
123.
Daryl looking at a ton to level the match, but Anderson is on the brink of a break. Could be 2 tops here. Well, we can see what he
45.
thought about it.
Didn't even throw the last dart properly, Daryl Gurney. He's given up this leg. And Anderson, this is the glitch in his game. Now, you never give up when Anderson has power scoring. He'll admit that it's the doubles that sometimes let him down.
16.
He's done it there. And now Gurney's got a split 55, so should be having 3 clean at tops here, Daryl Gurney. Careless, lack of concentration, but pins a double 18, there'll be no harm done. He does that. Good side hit from Daryl Gurney. 3 apiece.
He's had a determination to leave that double during this match, hasn't he, Daryl Gurney? Is it a 16 to leave it, a 19 to leave it, a 20 to leave it?
180.
Maximum for Gary Anderson, yeah, but clearly, obviously, the confidence ain't great for Daryl Gurney at the minute, so you've got to go to your comfort blanket, and double 18's that. This will help his cause, particularly after his opponent hit his second of the match. Good response from Daryl Gurney.
Well, like buses.
70.
2 did come along at once, and the response from Gurney may give him the chance to bid for a break here, and that's 4 perfect darts from Super Chin. Just underneath the wire with the 5th, but it's an excellent leg all of a sudden, and it could change the direction of this darting duel.
99.
Gurney would expect to lay this 190 up. He'd take a 10. He won't take a 10 now, I expect more. Here he goes. This is better from Gurney. He seems a bit more
130.
More snap in the action. Just seems to be going through the motions, but maybe now he's starting to believe.
Will it be 16?
94.
Double 18. Let's see. It is. Well, this time he's come inside and has to go to double 9. Now, I'm slightly surprised about that. I know he's been going for it in this match, but he's very much been a double 16 merchant throughout his career.
Is he going to be made to pay? Anderson
Game
finds
shot.
double top. Missed the trick there, Daryl Gurney. The double 18, which has been his friend throughout the match, wasn't his friend there. Anderson moves back in front. Pivotal moment in the match, that 7th leg.
85.
A few more results to bring you. Martin Schindler, a 6-3 winner against Ryan Joyce, an average of 109 for the little German fella.
136.
Dave Chisnell, average 108.47. It's been a great couple of days for Dave Chisnell. He was involved in a winning quiz team last night, I believe. 6-1 success against Mike Kyvenhoven.
Yeah, good to see Chizzy playing well. He was unplayable at times on Wednesday. He just unravelled in that thrilling quarter-final with Nathan
180.
Aspinall. Anderson finds his 3rd max of the match, and all of a sudden this game is flipped. It looked like Daryl Gurney was going to go 4-3 in front.
140.
He could find himself 5-3 down, but that's a good response from Super Chin.
He's been a man with a plan. Double 18, a big part of it, but it didn't
26.
help him in his best leg of the match, his best scoring leg of the match in the last one, and it could have been a flip reverse scoreline, but that mess from Gary Anderson means it looks likely that Gurney will level. Though Anderson will still have the advantage of throwing first twice before the end of the match if it goes the distance.
Yeah, that was Andy for Daryl Gurney, that 26, because Anderson just looking to lay up, that's all he can do.
59.
Not massive pressure, so Gurney, it'll be 20 for double 18 if it follows the pattern of this match. There's the 20. There's the double 18. Good leg, Daryl Gurney, 4 legs apiece. It's getting better. Still not what we expect from these two. Still the average is below 90, but 4 legs apiece. Don't take your eyes off it.
140.
Rob Cross threw a 6-2 win against Karol Sedlacek on the other streaming board. Jose de Sosa threw a 6-3 win against Graham Usher, and Luke Humphries has just managed to squeak past Danny Baggish,
100.
the #1 seed in this tournament. He was beaten in the first round yesterday, Luke Humphries. He's won against the American 6-5. Baggish as well was sitting on tops for the match in that last leg decider.
Richie Burnett as well. Through. Big win for Richie, beating Gabriel Clemens with an average of just over 97. Massive win, and we reported earlier that Jim
56.
McCune was 4-0 up on Peter Wright. That match is now 4-all. Good response.
Gary Anderson's
41.
starting to shake his head a little bit. It comes and goes for Gary these days, doesn't it? Not just over the courses of days and tournaments, but during matches.
85.
Yeah, but he's still in a good position. Needs to find a treble. Yeah, not
60.
enough. A ton 40 would really put Gurney in the mix in this leg. A ton leaves him a finish, a lot to do. Well, best case scenario is leaving 139 here now, but that could be the scenario. Lucky.
81.
Look, a player of Gary Anderson's ability, any board is more than winnable
80.
for him, but looking at the board he's been drawn on today, if he can get past Gurney, as you said, knocking out that seed, then it's Scott Marsh or Florian Hempel next. Then if it goes to seeding Stephen Bunting
139.
in the board final, a man that he battered yesterday, real good chance for Anderson to make good progress. Double 4.
58.
No. So Gurney to lead for the first time. He had a chance to lead in leg 7. Leg 9. Is Gurney about to hit the front? Just focusing. 4 for double 18, I'm sure. No, straight for it. Daryl Gurney leads 5-4. And that's an aggressive down. He's grown into this tie, Daryl Gurney. He's had to work hard. He's nowhere near his best, but fair play to him. I feared for him at the beginning. Good response.
Suddenly throwing for the match, and yeah, it hasn't look like a match that he's really gone and won. It's one that Gary Anderson's kind of gifted to him towards the back end. Those misses there helping Gurney out big time.
97.
Not out of it yet, Gary Anderson. The way Daryl's been playing, you don't see this as being a plain sailing leg, but he has got better, and that's all you can do. Well, gonna make me eat my words. Timing,
180.
brilliant from Daryl Gurney, and he's pulling away. It'll be a big win this for Daryl. Like you said, it's a very winnable board. For any, there's an argument for all 8 players, isn't there?
Well, no argument for Ryan Searle today. He's been beaten 6-3 by Jack Main. Good couple of days for him, hitting a 9-darter here yesterday.
60.
And knocking out the number 5 seed Ryan Searle in the opening round today.
Jim McEwen now 5-4 down. Dimitri Vandenberg's finished the job. 6-3 over Matthew Edgars as Cameron Menzies. He's beaten Andrew Gilding.
Yeah, Dirk van Dijvenbode, a 6-2 winner against Jim Williams. So the only seeds out so far, Gabriel Clemens and Ryan Searle. We lost 7 of the top 16 seeds yesterday. Daryl Gurney was looking like he might be the 3rd of the top 16 seeds to go. He is the number 16 seed, but it's an opportunity for him
135.
to get the game won here.
He's not over the line yet, though. Can he finish it in style? Treble 14. We went for ball 17. And hope
61.
that Gary Anderson can't pin the 101, but this is where the game could flip.
And it certainly could flip. Chooses double 16.
Game shot.
Nails it. And I'm just going to ask the question mark about Daryl Gurney's decision making there, because you predicted he may go for treble 14. He went for the bull instead. 2 darts in hand on 82. Surely you go for the bigger target.
Yeah, but it's each your own, but yeah, the right shot is treble 14 for me. And
well, if you missed where he was aiming by a similar margin, he may well have hit a treble, bigger area to hit, and he's getting a dart double for the match. I understand that the bull
60.
shot when your opponent's maybe on a big finish or not on a finish at all, or certainly with 3 darts in hand, but just give yourself the best chance to win.
Yeah, he was almost there, Daryl Gurney. He still may navigate his way through, but Anderson has opened up with a big score, but kind of undone his work. And Gurney, unlucky,
120.
but it's in the balance, this leg. 5 legs apiece, separated by 12 points. Pulled that one, Gary Anderson.
80.
Last leg decider for Peter Wright and Jim McEwen.
58.
And we'll keep you up to date on all the results as they come through across the day. Danny Noppert through. He's beaten Jose Justicia 6-2.
60.
Christoph Ratajski, a 6-5 winner against John O'Shea. Well, Gary Anderson's pattern on the Pro Tour this year has been losing when playing well. He may win when not playing well at all here.
But yeah, he's not happy here. He's left 130 a few times in this match.
100.
He hasn't left it this time. Good last start. Big ask for Gurney. I was going to say, if he hit the 57, surely it's 42, but he didn't. But he's going to leave it. Over to Gary Anderson.
99.
For the win. 90 points for the place in round 2.
Well, he's gone the bull route here. I question that as well. But now he needs the bull to win the match.
65.
Interesting decisions being made. Will this be the decisive dart?
Well, he's battled here, Daryl Gurney, and he's taken his time. He's hit tops already. There's nowhere near. There's some nerves in that one. No nerves in that one. Big win for Daryl Gurney. Far from his best. Neither player performing like they can. Maybe a bit too much respect on that hockey, but that is a big win for Daryl Gurney. He's had a rough couple of days. He lost first round to Gary on Wednesday. Lost to Lennon first round yesterday, but he's got the job done here. There the stats there we see. Far from their best, but it's Gurney who gets over the line 6 legs to 5. He will face the winner of our next match of Scott Marsh versus Florian Hempel.